What is going on YouTube? My name is Jacob. I'm the host of Jaeger Concepts. And guys, this is gonna be my first full format YouTube video. So welcome to the channel. Super excited to see what kind of reactions I'm gonna get. If anyone's interested in seeing some more stuff, that kind of thing. So after this video, you guys feel like you want to see some more of me or some more of anything else, let me know down below. But guys, that's what you're here for. This is what I'm gonna be running over today, is my rifle setup. So I thought, this is kind of a good way to get me introduced on YouTube, on the platform. People seem to like to watch these type of videos. I know I do. I know I enjoy watching other people's videos, how they set up the rifle, and like inspiration, or see like, oh, what kind of part is that? I'm always learning things. I'm sure I'm gonna continue to switch some things up on this rifle at some point in time, but for right now, I'm pretty content with what I've got on here and what I got going on. Again, this is not how this rifle was originally set up. I've had this rifle for just about 3 years now. It's been through a couple different iterations. Really the same meat and potatoes of it. I've got just the 14.5 BCM complete upper running on an Aero M4 E1 lower. That's basically the main meat and potatoes. I've had this same optic system as well for this whole iteration of this rifle, but the light, the can, I changed up the stock a couple times, changed up the grip, trigger stayed the same. But yeah guys, I think just gonna start this puppy off, start the channel off with the just a rifle setup. This is the only rifle I have as of at this point in time when this video was created. So I only got a 5.56 and I've got a couple handguns right now, but that's all I've got in the collection. I've also got a shotgun, but it's more of a hunting shotgun if anything. So but yeah guys, let's just start it off. We'll go tip to butt, like Flannel Daddy says. Starting off very tip, I'm running the Otter Creek Labs Polonium K. Guys, I've done a ton of research. This is the only can I have as of this point in time. This thing is fantastic for the money. This can has great performance from the shooter's ear and then from bystanders around as well. It's just an absolute pleasure to shoot. So I can't recommend this can enough to people that are just starting out or people that want, more budget-friendly can. It's not going to break the bank, but it's not also going to perform poorly either. This thing performs great. Not only does it have great sound suppression for a 5.56, but it's got great flash mitigation as well. Shooting in the dark, you're not going to see a huge fireball come out the end of there. But yeah, guys, I don't have enough good things to say about this can. I'll make a full video on this can eventually, just kind of a original solo video about it, but just starting up the channel. So again, just going over my whole rifle build. So as you guys may know, the Otter Creek Labs Polonium K is hub compatible. So the hub compatibility really opens your options up to different platforms that you want to run on there. So I'm running a Rearden. You could run a Chemo on here, you could run a Plan B, you could run whatever kind of mounting system that you prefer. I know with mounting systems, it's kind of an ecosystem. If you got a lot of your rifles set up for one specific ecosystem like Chemo, or if you've got Rearden, then that makes it really simple. I'm running the Atlas, just the regular Atlas mount on the Polo K here, and then I'm running a Liberty Precision Machine Eclipse 14.5 flash hider. This flash hider, as you can kind of see, it's got that little bit of extension. I don't know how well this is going to focus here, but a little bit of extension. It's just the regular, if you go to the website, just the regular flash hider, just extend it a little bit to reach those maximum or minimum barrel length requirements for our 14.5 rifle. As you can see, it is pin and welded as well. I love the ATF, the NFA, so you have to appease them, right? So it's pin and welded on there. Initially, this wasn't really my first choice. It doesn't look terrible. I'll put it that way, but it just doesn't look great. I really love the look. If you ever see pictures on Instagram, on this platform too, on YouTube, where the cans are mounted super close to the rail, that looks amazing, right? But you can only do so much with the 14.5, so I feel like if I ever run a shorter barrel length in the future, it'll be able to go a little bit closer to that rail. But I'm really not worried about it, because this flash hider in particular helps so you don't have to run the Atlas XL if you're running a Rearden. The Atlas XL I'll probably try to pop a picture up. If not, you guys can look it up. It's basically this exact thread adapter, but it's super long. So you would have already basically had that look anyway if you wanted to run one of Rearden's proprietary flash hiders. That's a little bit longer and bigger. I opted for that just because I didn't want to deal with the Atlas XL. And then if I ever want to run this on a different gun in the future, you could always run a shorter flash hider with it. Like I could just run the regular Eclipse if I'm running like 11.5, 12.5, and just keep that same the Atlas thread adapter on the back. I wouldn't have to swap it out. So that was my thought process through it, because odds are I'll probably be using this can for a lot of different guns in the future. So yeah, moving back a little bit, I am running the Cloud Defensive Rain 1.0. They have their proprietary switch that's just on here, mounted on there. And then I have a 100 Concepts ruggedized light cap. Super cool. I like that this not only protects your light, but also protects from any sort of unwanted reflection downrange. If someone's shining a light back at you, it's not going to be like a beacon and people are going to know your exact position. So, and guys, again, I'm a civilian. I'm not like, I don't really foresee myself running into a situation like that, but if it's avoidable and it protects your light, it's cool. So that's why I got this running on there. It's awesome. Moving back a little bit farther, I am running these rail scales on here. Can't quite remember what these are called. They're like XOS something. They aren't the G10 ones, they're just the regular polymer. I'm not balling like that. I can't afford to spend, you know, $150 on just rail scales. So if you guys are balling like that and you want the G10, freaking send it, man. And I'm just running their kind of stubby grip. I totally forgot what this one's called, but this one's really dope. I really like the ability to get that. I feel like I can just pull that in my shoulder really tight. I was running an Emissary handbrake before. I think I got it right here actually. I was running just the regular Emissary handbrake. Had no complaints about this one either. Thought it was a great addition to my rifle. Again, I just wanted to switch it up, and I thought, you know, buying everything that was rail scales, I was able to integrate that grip inside of these panels, which I thought was really cool. So I wasn't originally planning on ditching the Emissary handbrake, but when I saw this on the website, I was like, that's kind of cool, so I jumped on it. But yeah, absolutely no complaints so far. It's rock solid. I am running a Faro Concepts Slingster. Really love the ease of adjustability with the slider here. You can really tighten it down, cinch it down to your body real quick, and then you can loosen it just as fast too. It's got a lot of adjustability. Padding is really good. Feels really comfortable on your body if you're wearing a chest rig, a backpack, or you're not even wearing anything. It really does its job very well. I was running a T-Rex Arms, one of their slings before. I got this sling. I actually gave that sling to my dad, and it was a really great sling. I really enjoyed it. But I just wanted to try something new, and I've always heard great things about the Slingster, and I haven't been disappointed this far. Cool. And then just moving a little bit farther back, before we get to the optics setup, I am running a Bad Lever. I know these are kind of controversial in the gun community. People say like, oh, it teaches you bad habits. You could have an ND with it, yada yada. I just say train with it, and you'll get to know your system when you've got one on there. If you don't, then you don't. You just manipulate the bolt catch, bolt release in the way you're supposed to. And that's another thing people say is like, just use your bolt catch, bolt release. Like, you could absolutely, but it does help with your reload manipulations and things like that if you've got a malfunction and whatnot. So I really enjoy it. I know some people really don't, but if it's not your cup of tea, stay away from it. Moving on, guys, I've got a Holosun 515 GM mounted on a Unity 226 mount. That's the other kind of controversial thing that is in the community right now, or has been, is the optic setups that are super high. So this is like a 226 optic centerline mount, so it is a little bit higher than traditional. You know, if you're going 1/3 or full co-witness. Some people just love to hate on it. I mean, I'm a little bit bigger of a human. I've got, if you guys couldn't already tell, I've got kind of a long neck. Not by choice, God kind of just made me that way. But I feel like when I see most people shoot with a higher optic, they really, it's kind of like their neck's just floating above their stock. I feel like I really have to get down in there to actually get a good sight picture. So I don't really have a complaint about not having the proper points of contact when you're shooting. I've always had great points of contact when I shoot this. I feel like it's not causing any issues with creating more recoil or not controlling your gun enough. I've had no problems with it. I actually really enjoy it because it doesn't feel like I'm cramming my neck down to get a sight picture, and then I'm kinking my neck, and it's not comfortable. So it's something I really enjoy, and I think I'll continue to kind of run higher optic setups from this point forward just because of it. Mounted behind that, I've obviously got the Unity flip to center magnifier mount, and I'm running an Aimpoint 3X magnifier on the back of that. Before I had the Unity system, the Unity optics, the Unity mounts, excuse me, I was running a ScalarWorks mount for my dot and the magnifier. I liked them. I didn't think they were quite high enough, in my opinion. I still felt like I had to cram my neck down a little bit. And again, it wasn't too much of a difference coming from, just a regular optic mount. I just used the mount that this dot originally came with until I upgraded the ScalarWorks. But the one thing that did happen was with their magnifier mount, I had seen issues all over the internet that people's ring was cracking on their magnifier mount, just kind of right next to their screws, their optics, the screws that they were using to mount the actual magnifier in there. And sure enough, mine was one of them. I traditionally thought like, okay, those people probably abuse their rifles, or they're throwing them around, or like they're being used by law enforcement, heavy use, blah 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 blah. Mine wasn't used all that crazy. Like, this was towards the beginning of my my rifle journey with this one, and I was babying it. I had it was still painted all black. It was still anodized all black, like it came from the factory. It was kind of a safe Princess. I didn't really use it that much. And I took it out to the range, and I was like, oh my God. Like, sure enough, there's a hairline crack right there. And it wasn't really affecting like the actual, magnifier at all. Like, it wasn't coming loose, anything like that. But when you see something you spent your hard-earned money on cracking and you haven't, really abused it, it kind of raises some concerns. So I reached out. Their customer service was great. I shipped them the old one. They didn't actually just repair the old one. They sent me a completely new unit, which was actually designed a little bit differently. They didn't have, I wish I had a picture of it, but it wasn't the same like scope ring, if you would. It had additional screws, and it was set up a little bit differently. I think that's maybe the design. They made a change in the design, and they sent me one of their newer models. Maybe that's what happened, or they just have models that are specifically for if they get old ones sent in for repair, or there's damage to them, whatnot. But I ended up giving my dot mount and the magnifier mount to my dad. He's running his dot on there now, and he's got a Primary Arms 3X magnifier on his, and he said no issues. So I think that's pretty much been resolved, and it was a problem that was happening a year, maybe 2 years ago. But yeah, so no complaints with the Unity. Didn't run that with the ScalarWorks, but they made it right. So that's what customer service is all about. So I was very pleased with that. Running back some more here, I'm running the Radian Raptor SD to help with some of that gas to the face, managing that. And it is a step up in quality if you're coming from a mil spec, or before I opted to get the BCM 3x3 charging handle when I ordered this upper, the complete upper. And I thought that was a great charging handle as well. It was also ambi, but I think the Radian was even another step up in quality compared to that. Just feels absolutely bomb-proof, and you hear the rave. I mean, Radian's a great manufacturer. They make quality parts, so you can't go wrong. Moving down a little bit more, I am running, speaking of Radian, the Radian Talon safety selector, the ambi safety selector. I opted to put it in the 45 degree orientation. I just feel like that's a little bit easier for operation. Yeah, it's a personal preference thing. A lot of people do run it that way, or people run it at 90, whatever floats your boat. Trigger group, or trigger, not trigger group. I'm running the Geissele SD3G. Super great trigger. And a lot of people run these more on competition oriented guns, or like three gun rifles and things like that. Well, this is kind of like a more of a duty kind of recce setup. I'd like to eventually swap it for an SSAE, or like one of their SSAE like lightning bow triggers. I've heard great things about those, but for the time being, it's a great trigger. Super, like, it almost has no take up. It's just you put a little pressure and it snaps, and the reset is crazy tiny too. I guess I could test that for you guys right now. If you guys are curious, I mean, there's tons of videos on the internet that we are clear, by the way. Just want to make that abundantly clear. So obviously coming up the camera here, I guess I can use, let's see, best way to do this. I'll just pull up my thumb, bang, and then the reset, and you're ready to go. Super short. Yeah, great. I have no bad things to say. It's a great trigger, and Geissele is absolutely worth the hype. Cost wise, it's a little more steep, but you're paying for the quality for sure. So great trigger. The lower is just an M4E1. They're enhanced lower. I actually bought this lower with the trigger in it, and it came with 3 magazines for like under $300. This is when this is actually what started this rifle build. Was I saw that deal for this lower, the complete lower, on Arrow's website, and I pulled the trigger, and then I bought the upper, and kind of rest is kind of history. This is where we're at today. Yeah, but super cool. So I really enjoy this lower. I know Arrow gets some hate for, you know, their quality control or whatnot. I've had no issues. I think they're solid. I think it's really hard to find. I wouldn't say hard to find, but it's just kind of the nitpickiness nowadays. And of course, people have their preferences. If you're up in the higher tier area, like if you're going to Knights or Radian or LMT, that kind of thing, I guess a lot of people compare these sort of budget brands to those big manufacturers, the ones that have, you know, contracts with the government, that sort of thing, where they're absolutely S tier. Yeah, I mean, this is all I've got. This is all I ran, so I've had no issues. But would I like to get in some of those higher end rifles? Absolutely. And if I knew better, I would probably just save my coin up a little more and gone with maybe an LMT or just a regular plain old BCM lower. But when I saw the deal, I jumped on it, and here we are. Can't really complain. I don't have any regrets about it because it runs perfectly fine. So moving backwards just a little bit more, I am running this Driven Arms Co. Shadow crossover grip. Really great grip. It just fits my hand super well. Ergonomics are on point. I feel like it's just a natural point of aim. Yeah, I really love the grips. If you guys are, you know, shopping on the internet looking for grip, I would highly recommend this one. This is the mil-spec Arrow buffer tube that came with the lower. I'll eventually, it's one of my next upgrades I'm looking at, either kind of running a scope. I want to either run an LPVO or a MPVO, just like a little bit more zoom, and you could have some more practicality for this kind of rifle length. But back to here, I want to run either a Voltor, like an A5 system, or an equivalent to that. I know other brands make that length buffer tube as well. I've just heard fantastic things about how their system runs, and it just cycles super smooth. And mine cycles super smooth right now as well. I just swapped it out when I got my can. I'm running the Geissele braided Super 42 and the H2 buffer, and I feel like that's a great combo. I can't imagine really my rifle running any smoother than that, but from what I've heard, if you run that A5 system, your rifle is like, it's sick. So I really want to try that out eventually. Trying to just save my dough right now. I think I'm really pleased with how it's set up for the time being. I just shoot the shit out of this for now, and we'll worry about that later. and that's my plan. So that, or I just save up for a different rifle completely. So I'm pleased with what I got right now. And then I'm running the B5 Systems Stop Mod stock. It's got that thicker profile, and then it's got like the battery storage. I'm running two CR123s in there just for extra batteries for my handgun or whatever I need them for. Oh, that's the other thing too, storage wise. This Shadow crossover grip also has storage in the bottom. You just pull this up and pull that thing out. I've got some extra batteries for my optic in there, which is pretty cool too. So you got some options for storage. Other than that, guys, this is my build. It's a smooth shooter. Really enjoy it. I've taken this rifle easily out past 500 yards. I actually took this hunting. I live in Arizona, and I got drawn for javelina. Didn't have a hunting rifle dedicated for it, and took this puppy out, tagged out. So, and that was almost like a 500-yard engagement, and I brought the pig home. So it was pretty cool taking this out there. I did have just the 3x magnifier, so it was a little rough, but I made it work. And it was really cool, really great experience. And I actually got to test my rifle. I got to hike around with it, rock with it a little bit. I had gear on and everything. Oh, not like full tactical gear. It was different setup because obviously had a different goal in mind. It was hunting. Cool to hike around with it and kind of get used to the weight. And I thought it would actually be uncomfortable than it was, and it was great. Really enjoyed it. Yeah, guys, if you want to see have any more questions, drop them down below. If you guys want to see like my handguns, you guys want to see some of the gear I've got, obviously I'll take this out and do a dedicated video of me shooting drills with it, with my pistol. I got my chest rig and my belt down here. I can go over that setup and take that out and rip around. But yeah, guys, this first full form YouTube video. Show me some love down in the comments. Show me some hate. Tell me what you think about my main squeeze here, my one and only for now. But yeah, guys, I appreciate you tuning in. More to come to the channel soon. I appreciate the love and support. See you guys in the next one.